Story of my life.
Uh-huh.
All right, it says preparing, setting up for YouTube live. It's gonna catch me like mid talking.
Would it be YouTube if it didn't?
All right,
Right.
A
we're
good point.
now I have to mute myself. All right, here we go, folks. I'm gonna play the intro music and then we'll get started.
Welcome to season 6 of the Long-Winded One podcast. This is Spoiler Sessions, Lit RPG, the only show where spoilers don't spoil anything. We're digging into fan theories, side characters, and the lore authors left in the drawer.
I just saw Ben's hat. That's fantastic. Welcome everyone to episode 33 of season 6. Here, this is spoiler sessions, and then tonight is going to be completely off the rails. It is not going to be a spoiler session type of meeting, and it is technically a meeting. We're on Zoom after all, but we are meeting here after Lit RPG Con to talk with the fabulous authors from the Indie Author Table. And with me tonight, my co-host is Reck Well, who helped to to put together this ragtag cadre. Is that a word
Bunch of
of
bunch of nerds. Yeah.
yes, bunch of nerds. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
So welcome, Reck, and thank you for setting all of this up.
Yeah. Thanks for hosting everybody. It's just a nice little recap of what was a crazy weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
And folks, I put the YouTube link in the chat if you feel like multitasking and you want to post it to your Patreons, Discords, Facebooks, whatever. We have lots of questions, and it's probably we could be on here for 3 hours, and we're not gonna be, but we're gonna try to do this under an hour. Normally, I try to do it under 30 minutes, but we have some, this is just going to be fun. We have fun questions. We want to get to know you a little bit with this first question. And that first question is introduce yourselves and your work as if you were one of your main characters. Or you could do Princess Donut if you want to, but I think just because, we all know Princess Donut, but I think this is an excellent way for people to get to know a little bit about your series, or you can just do it in a normal voice. That's what I would choose to do probably. So we're
You
gonna
gotta
just
introduce yourself, Jared.
well,
Yeah.
everybody knows me. They're on my podcast, but I'm the I'm the long-winded one, author of I have a Celtic series out there, and I just came out with Get Trucked. I'm currently writing a short story for the Good versus Evil anthology. We have a bunch of authors writing in that, and the proceeds for that book, 50% of the revenue, I should say, coming in is going to go to help new authors and future cons, whether that be admissions, tables, signings, whatever Geneva and the powers that be decide the money is going to go towards. And so that's currently what I'm writing. But and how about Rec? Let's do you. Let's do you next.
Do I have to?
You made me.
All right. This loser, Reckwell, wrote a book about me, Richard. I think the title is The Biggest Dick. No, that's not right. Oh yeah, Stumbling Up. You should check it out. It's pretty good.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And then we're gonna go in alphabetical order from this point on. So is CJ here? CJ's not in the chat yet, so we're going right to David.
All right. So I can't really do my character voice. I'm going to cop out right here because they're the main characters for most of my series are from Texas, and they're going to sound a lot like me to begin with, just younger. And if I could fountain of youth myself, I'd do it, but I can't. So J. David Baxter is the author name I write under. It's AI Apocalypse Restart is my lit RPG series. I also have Epic Portal Fantasy series, The Guardsman, Grey Mantle Chronicles, as well as a couple of other ancillary series that are set in that same universe, Sundered Soul and Vampire's Heir.
Thanks, David. I posted the link to or the list of names to all of us so we'd know who's going to go next. But I'm just gonna read it off. Bosloe, will you be the next
I
one
was
up?
I was just about to. Yes.
Alrighty.
Right. This is being Dave, who is the MC's AI companion. He just has a normal English accent because he's based on me. Right. Let's get this over with. I'm Dave. I'm an AI bonded to a forensic accountant who somehow became a fey assassin. She argues with me constantly. She's usually wrong. The series is called The Amatherian Tales. Bosloe writes it. I carry it.
Very good. Thank you.
Travis.
All right. Travis, you're up next.
Okay, so you're going to kind of have to imagine that this was slightly less British than it's going to sound, I suppose. But so Tam Flynn grows up on a world where magic's been banned, starts to come into power. The suppressors in the kingdom kill his father, his friend, ends up with him due to be killed. He's saved at the last minute and exiled to another world. So Tam essentially comes into power, grows, and looks to go home and get his vengeance. That's about the size of it.
Awesome. Thank you. Frank gave you a thumbs up there. Let's do KT.
Hey, so I'm Katie Hanna, and I'm not doing a voice because I already have an Australian accent, so you get stuck with that one. One of my characters is Australian in System Apocalypse Australia, but then I have Somnia Online, which is discover the class you were born to play, complete system, complete system, complete series, library system reset, just completed, and it's basically save the library, save the universe. You all know that catchphrase. And I currently have one posting up on Royal Road under Erithian called Our Chemical Imbalance about a female assassin who discovers magic is real.
So follow it. Favorite.
Yeah, go follow it and favorite. It's really good and you should like it. It's very violent.
And what's your Royal Road name that they should
Erithian. Arithon. Yay!
All right, moving along to Steve.
Hi, this is Trace. I'm the main character of Ashes of Eltharion. I'm not sure why we're sitting around talking. We really should be out killing something or getting another level. But anyway, I work out 24/7. This series is written by a guy named Steve Harthun. As you can tell, he doesn't work out 24/7. But, pretty much got out of the military, got sent to another world, pretty much full-time killing now.
Very well done. Digging the accent too. All right, Steve. Or sorry, let's do Lance. Lance, and I have Lance's book here. He sent me home with it.
Me too. I got it here. So I'm Lance Krautlarger. I wrote a Arcane Tides: A Journey Within. I'm not going to do a voice because anybody that's followed me on TikTok or Instagram, social media, my story is basically a mental health story told it's just in a fantasy lens. Yeah, it was a standalone, but since coming back from con, I've written a novella. I'm about halfway through it right now, so should be done soon.
Awesome. Doug.
All right, I'll jump in here. Look, the clown you see before you is Doug Lohse. He wrote this story about me. I'm Duke. I am the best pilot there ever was. And this guy he yeets me into another world with these two stupid entities that take over everything. They take over my system messages. These guys are freaking arguing in my system messages. Like, I need that, right? And then I run into like an archmage on house arrest. How do you figure that out, right? I find this dungeon from like, I don't know, 1 billion years ago. I don't know. No one knows it exists anymore. But things change after that. And I start getting power. And you know what? I break away from these two entities. And you know what? I'm coming after them. And that's how we're going. And this story, this whole book, this whole series is complete, baby.
I love it. I love it. I love Duke. Can we go out of order just for a second? I'm going to throw a wrench in this, and let's do BJ because he said his headphones are well, unless they've already died. Maybe that's a bad idea. We'll keep on here. Let's do Tim.
Hello, I'm Timothy McGowen. I'm not going to do any voices because I'm not good at that. Otherwise, I'd make money doing narration. That would be awesome. I've written Arcane Knight, Path of the Titans, Last Born of Kadarth, all finished series, other series as well. But those are some of the ones that come to mind right now. I don't have any of them with me. I'm not actually at my house, so it's a little difficult. I'm on my phone though. I'm here.
You're here.
I write, it's kind of heroic fantasy lit RPG, if you're not familiar with what I write. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. And we have a bunch of people. If you're not checking out the YouTube chat, you should do that. There's a lot of love coming from there. People like as you all talk, they're just like, love for the novellas, love for Duke, love for KT. Like if you just scroll all the way back up, there's a lot of love in the chat. And Frank, I think Frank, you're up. I wish I could give you emojis like you give everybody else. Let me see if I can
No
figure
worries.
that out.
Yeah, I'm Frank. I can't do the voices, but imagine. So as my character, I'm Lucas Alton. I've done a lot of crazy things in my life. I've been a forest firefighter, skydiver, instructor. Had to drop everything to become a computer programmer and starting a new startup to chase hackers, like the ones that stole everything from my grandmother. But nothing has come close to getting yanked off of this planet, waking up on another planet with this crazy AI as my only companion. He's super friendly, but nuts. And he's like, okay, guys, you represent Earth. Earth's going to be integrated, and the fate of everyone relies on you. You got 1 month to fight through 4 stages of monster-infested wilderness, defeat this insane, crazy boss, or you're all dead and your planet will be destroyed. Good luck.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
that's
Thanks.
Nexus Runner.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good stuff.
All right, Waldo.
All right. Waldo Rodriguez, I won't be doing any voice acting because I can't do voice acting. If I could, I get paid for it. Much like art. You don't want me doing that thing. So I'm the author of Reclaimer, The Crucible, this monster of a book right here. So you like progressions, fantasy stories, you like a blend of sci-fi with that. You like a sci-fi that becomes increasingly more fantasy as this dying world rediscovers magic. Check the series out. It's very fun, very brutal. The first arc is complete. The second arc is going to be complete in about December-ish, I want to say, with books 9 and 10. And that one goes for exploring the post-apocalyptic world after everything ended, and how our MC goes from hero to god at that point. So very fun stuff.
Awesome. And Waldo, I love that there was a time at the table when we were all standing together at the table and you were dressed as Waldo, right? Like, and you had gone out to like talk to fans or sign autographs or something. And I had to stop myself, but I said it before I could stop myself. I was like, "Where's Waldo?" And I was like, "Oh man, yeah." So
that was the point.
Yeah,
that was like
no,
the first and the third day. And the first day I was super nervous at the booth. I am not a people person. I am a hermit. So I saw all those people just like, I just froze that first day. It took me until the second day before I started loosening up.
yeah, I couldn't tell. I mean, you were great there. Well, we have a few more people. So we have BJ. If your headphones are working still, do you want to go?
Is my mic picking up?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, good. I am the busy bard, or that's who I'm acting as right now. Really, my name is Wilbur the Wizard, and I am written by the busy bard. I'm sorry for the mistake. I get a little absent-minded. besides that, I think he also writes Doomed and Damned is another book, but that's not a great book. You should read Will of the Wisps on Royal Road. That's the better one. It's about a much more competent, main character. So, and there's also Doomed and Damned is on Amazon, which you can go check out on KU. But don't do that one. Also, I have it this has good stats. In case you were.
It does. I'm a little jealous. I once played it. Well, never mind. I could go on talking about my D&D characters forever. But anyway, sorry, Brian, bring us home here.
OMG, this one's my favorite. Look, it has a cat on the back. Just another girl at the end of the world. Oh, can we have it, please?
Yes, I have it. I have it. That was awesome. Thank you. Brian, anything else you wanna say about your worlds? Your
I
books?
just spent all my my energy points on that.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, so the rest of the questions, folks, if you're in chat, and there's 22 people watching right now, and there'll be more later, of course, offline, asynchronously, but we're not going to go in order anymore. It's going to kind of be whoever wants to take the questions. But before we do that, I would just, Reck, you mentioned something in chat about all the volunteers that we had, and I didn't mention Gary. What would you like to say a few words about those folks?
Yeah, so I big shout out to Gary Bradley, who is the sponsor for the Indie Author booth this year, which meant that all of these fine folks on this call got to be a part of the Indie Author booth without any cost associated with it, which made the barrier to entry just way lower than trying to pay for a booth individually or even collectively. It just made things easy. Gary also helped us with buying the 3D fan.
That was sick.
Though I will say he didn't have to set that thing up. But he's amazing. Big call out to Gary. And then we had about half a dozen volunteers. And I know if I list them off, I'm going to forget a few, but we had folks popping in that had no books. They were just fans. They were wanting to support indie authors. And I think that honestly, they maybe did a better job selling our books than we did at the end of the day, but we had Alicia and KL and Stacy and Andrew and Keith. And I know I'm missing a couple, but thank you. It really helped because we were all in panels and game tables and signings and all of the things, and it was really helpful not to have to be at the booth the whole time. And yeah, that was only, there was a couple shifts that we had a couple volunteers slide into where it was everybody was like, I know you have me down for Saturday, and I know I agreed to that afternoon shift, but there's something going on. And we had a couple volunteers just raise their hand and step in, and it was just really, really amazing. So big thank you to all of you for helping out. And Richie, Richie was one of the folks too. Yeah.
And we were talking before we went live, and a lot of people were saying, I think I just got my voice back this week from the con.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go right into question 2, and then from there let's alternate, Reck, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's and we're just we can use the raise hand feature if we want to here in chat, and then I'll we'll call you out. Not literally call you out, but so overall experience at LitRPG Con, go. Anybody want to? Okay,
all right, KT. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had a ball. I got to see everybody. People bought my books, which was amazing. And I have I don't know, it was wonderful that people wanted to read your books, people discovered your books, and then I got to see all my friends and all my fellow authors, and it was just rejuvenating and just inspiring. So I loved it, but I wasn't going to say that I hated it, was I? I mean, I had a great time. I was exhausted. I had an 8-hour drive there and an 8-hour drive back. And I think it took me almost 10 days to get my voice back. It was horrible. But other than that, it was brilliant. So.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. It was an absolutely amazing time. The second year of the convention, year 1 blew me away completely. But this second year was just phenomenal. It just took it to another level. The one thing this year though was Oh my God, I don't know where the time went. It vanished so quickly. Honestly, it could have been a week, and I don't think I still would have managed to have caught up with everybody that I wanted to, and and spoken to everyone that I wanted to. But yeah, it was a phenomenal experience, and as Reck said before, I just want to thank the volunteers and Gary in particular for sponsoring the table, because all of us here wouldn't have had the opportunity or the support without those guys there. So.
Yeah, I'll jump in as well. So ditto with everything they've said, but also I want to give a huge shout out to the authors there and the time that we had a chance to chat, because I've had some writer's block for about the last 2-3 months, and they really helped me put some focus back on where I need to go with my series that I'm working on right now. I was having trouble with a spot, and just the chance to talk with my peers, awesome, absolutely awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll jump in on that as well. I didn't make it last year, so this is my first experience with LitRPG Con, and I've been to a lot of cons, but this one's different because it's all focused on that genre, and the energy with everyone there was amazing. From selling at the booth to being on some great panels, got to host a gaming table and a very epic RPG game where I think the people at the table had a legendary level of the worst rolls I've ever seen in my life, over about 3 hours. So that and made it very interesting, but just super fun all around. And I can't wait to get back again next year.
Yeah, I'll jump into last year was, obviously the first one. I went just as myself. So just as just a regular person. This year I went on panels and gaming tables, and oh my God, was my schedule packed. But oh my God, the aura stayed. And that was the biggest fear I had going in, is that we would lose the magic of the first one. Instead, we built on it. And I can't wait till next year.
And we didn't even have a hotel fire this year.
I just wanted to say,
I thought we were starting a tradition last year.
No more fires. I will have another completed series out for the next con.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Waldo,
Excellent.
Yeah. I had a great time, even though that first day at the booth I was super terrified. But once I got over that, it was great just meeting all the fans, like all the fans that you only talk to online. And then part in the back of my head, I'm like, these people aren't real, and you see them and they're real. And then I got to give up
Not holographic.
Right? Not holographic. I got to give up a really big box of goodies at the giveaway the first day. And I had a bunch of morale patches left over, which got me in trouble with Facebook. So I got to hand those out to a bunch of fans, and their faces lighting up when they realized who was on the patch. It was great. And then on the author front, I learned a whole bunch of things that I should have been figuring out earlier.
I want to comment on what KT said. Does anyone else here on the panel now judge their productivity from LitRPG Con to LitRPG Con? Right. So you're going to be, I mean, I see some shaking heads, but I certainly do.
I know I do.
No, the story I'm posting currently is already complete. So I just have to edit it. So it is complete, and it's 3 books. So it'll be out by then. But so it's not really,
So you're cheating.
It's already done. Yeah, I'm kidding. But it's nice to know that the people who we meet online aren't just figments of our imagination like the rest of our characters, right?
Yeah. We have some Steve and Brian both raised their hands, so I wanted to honor them. Steve, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So I became an author in March of this year, so I'm really new to this game. I barely made it to Jordan Con right before this, and that was kind of my only taste of a con ever. And so I come to LitRPG Con, and we get there, me and my wife are pulling up, and we have no idea what to expect. And I walk into the lobby, and of course the lobby, as you know, is completely packed. And I had multiple people say my name. like, "Hey, Steve," and stuff like that. And I was just blown away, right? And so throughout the entire con, it was just my wife just kept saying over and over how nice everyone is, how everybody's so chill about everything, and how you can just sit in the lobby and talk to some of the greatest writers out there in the space, and everybody's just kind of hanging out like it's a good time. It was just so amazing. I met so many good people, and I actually had an author, Sunrise CV, came up to me and asked me to autograph my book for him. And I was like floored, right? I was like, really? I mean, someone, that I've listened to all their books and all that. So it was just one of the best experiences I've ever had. And as far as, working in this space.
BJ. Or Brian, you have BJ.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking for my mute button.
Okay. Brian or BJ. Yeah.
Yeah, I still consider myself a baby writer. This is my first novel, and I got it into 80 hands at the con, and that was really exciting. But even I think more exciting was the fact that I went through like 250 ribbons that said smut on them. And just seeing people with my marketing and my book, but that was a really popular decision. I probably could have printed off another 500 of them.
You definitely could have printed off another 500 of them, because I know that my wife saw that ribbon and was like immediately like, I want the smut ribbon. I need the smut ribbon. Give me the smut ribbon. And I had a great time too. It's kind of, I've been writing for just over a year now, and it's kind of like crazy to have like just going around the con. First off, I love selling things, and if any of you got trapped in an elevator with me, I'm sorry. My elevator pitches was a kind of spur of the moment thing, and I loved doing it. And there was about 20 people at the con who got, you're trapped in here with me. Now listen to me about my book.
Were you just riding the elevator up and down?
I was actually for like an hour. And then
That's a great idea, actually.
Someone recognized me and they're like, "Hey, that's the elevator guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, but since we're on the escalator, you've heard of elevator pitches. Now it's time for an escalator pitch." No, but it was just crazy. I had someone who came up to my wife. It was on her name tag. It said the Busty Bard, and I go by the Busy Bard on Royal Road. And it was just, they were like, "Oh, that your name's similar to an author I read." And then she was like, "Oh, that's my husband." And that I didn't know what to do with that. I was just like, "Hi." And they're like, "I've been reading your book for 8 months." And I'm like, "Hi." So anyways, fantastic.
Amazing. Sounds like everybody had just a great time. Yeah. LitRPG Con for me was awesome. It was a little overwhelming this year compared to last year, and I wonder, next year is maybe even going to be more overwhelming, but also amazing. But yeah, just a lot more people this year. We're going to go on to the next question. Question 2, I'll note it's been a half hour. But I do want to call out a few more volunteers. I brought up my spreadsheet because that's why I have them. So I want to call out Christina. Thank you for volunteering. Also Isaac, Stacy's kid. And I can't say enough about Jen. I'll be really honest, they created the schedule, they did a lot of the communication and the Google Sheets and stuff for us. A lot of just the hard organization behind the scenes was Jen, and they were at the booth almost the entire time. So if you haven't given love to Jen, you should, because yeah, they did a lot of the booth for us. So thank you, Jen.
Yeah, that's a good one to forget.
I know. I'm like, yeah, who's this loser? I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch tonight. But yeah, so the next question I've got for everybody is, what is the strangest fan question you've ever received? And bonus points if it was at the table. No takers.
I'll go on this one if nobody's going to take it.
You guys got fans?
Well, KT, I saw KT's hand, so
I had one, but it wasn't at the table, so I don't get bonus points. And it's not really a good comment because there's only one there's only one series I haven't finished because it wasn't very viable. And I keep having people asking me when I'm going to finish the series. And I'm like, someday, number 3 will be done when I learn how to rewind time and get a TARDIS. So yeah, that's the only question that is really awkward for me actually, because I'm like, yes, I want to finish it, but can you pay me to do that?
You're like, how big a wad of cash are you gonna hand me to finish?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I love the story, and I have it sketched out, but the time it'll take to write it is, I just need to magic that up from somewhere.
All right, Brian, why don't you go get your hand raised next?
Yeah, it's not actually a fan comment. It's the comments I got based on the spice rating of my book. If you're into spice, it's probably a 2, but at the booth it was listed as a 4 out of 5. And some of the stories that were swirling about it, people had never even read it, but just there was talk of Velcro and gloves and electricity and all sorts of amazing stories that actually helped sell more than detract people.
I'll just say, you guys had to take a look at those ratings before they went out the door. So. All right. Yeah.
You were complicit, Brian.
You're welcome, Brian.
Absolutely.
All right, Frank, you're up next.
And those ratings are great. That cheat sheet with all the different books. That was a great idea. I hope we'll do that in the future if we do another similar book booth. It helped a lot with helping people find the right book. But
a nice poster size would be great on that cheat sheet.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm glad we had that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about crazy comments. It wasn't necessarily the craziest or weirdest fan interaction, but in one of my other series, because I write in several different genres, I have a humorous fantasy called Bacon Master of the Apocalypse. And I actually had those there at the booth too. But I have one fan, every time they see me, they'll run up and start telling me dad jokes, because one of the characters tells dad jokes in the book when they get nervous, and they're nervous a lot. So I will randomly have people come up and tell me dad jokes. But there's one person, every time they see me, they go to a lot of cons as well, and they always have a great dad joke to throw out there. And then I have to respond with one, then we go back and forth, and it makes it really fun, to connect with people that way.
Absolutely. Steve?
Yeah, so I don't know who all was standing there at the booth. I know Jen was standing next to me, and someone came up and started talking about, a lot of my main character has, PTSD and addiction issues. And they started talking to me, and we're standing there, me and Jen are looking at them, and then they start talking about doing acid and all this other stuff. And me and Jen are just looking at each other like, what the heck is going on right now? It turned dark really quick at that booth for a moment.
Yeah, that because it's like the banana slug. I didn't expect to get a lot of people handing me banana slug paraphernalia. You got to be careful about what you write about. Yeah. All right, Jared, take us away. What's next?
Yeah. So the next question is, this is a good one. I'm sure we all have a story for this one. What is the weirdest thing that you've Googled while you've been writing? Or whatever you maybe don't use Google, but whatever you do for research. All right, let's do Reck has their hand up. So Reck, go ahead. If you want. Oh, do you want to go ahead?
No. Yep. So the weirdest thing that I've had to Google is what does a banana slug taste like? Apparently it's really bitter and slimy, and it numbs your mouth. So there you go, folks. You don't have to Google it. Now you know.
Thank you. Do you see how many hands we have up for this question? Everybody has a story about this one. Usually I use my wife's phone to do this kind of research, the weird research. Bosloe, you want to go next?
I was going to say that's what VPN's for. No, we actually got asked this on a panel while I was at LitRPG Con as well. And the weirdest thing I've ever searched up, it was when I was writing a different series, not the one I'm doing at the moment. and it was what size cut would be needed, basically on a forearm, for somebody to bleed out, and the duration that it would take for them to bleed out, which probably got on a couple of watch lists.
Oh man, yeah, and they're probably watching right now.
Yeah,
that's all I was going to say. I'm not going to give a specific, just I'm probably on a bunch of watch lists after all the things I've Googled. That's it.
Yeah, Frank. Oh, you're muted, Frank. I knew I was going to have to say that at least once during this.
Yeah, you got me. I figured I'd get that out of the way right off. So I think we're on a lot of watch lists. I've been on a couple of entire panels talking about that, and there's so many stories. But different ways to kill people often kind of gets the craziest thing. Like, how do you clean blood out of a trunk? That one's probably got the FBI watching me. Or different chemicals that will either melt flesh or explode when you combine them, like in a drink or something. And those ones, if people actually watched or had could see my search history, they'd probably look at me differently or greet me with straitjackets, when I came up to parties or whatever.
If the government is actually like paying attention to this stuff, like those people must be the most jaded people in the whole world.
Absolutely.
BJ, you wanna go?
Yeah, you got the guy back there who's like, he's like, yeah, he's like, what does that guy do? He looks really fucked up. He's like, he watches authors' Google searches. I think the guy's just twitching in the background. That I probably the two things, the most messed up thing I've looked up is probably what does flesh sound like when it's being peeled off something, when it's burned to metal, and what's the sound it makes. And then also how is it possible to survive falling a very large distance into snow, and how far? Because I had that like a scene that I really wanted. And then there's a guy who intentionally jumped 255 feet. It's a crazy video. The guy sounds like he's going off to his own death. You should watch it.
Is that off the bridge, like one of the bridges, or?
No, it's a cliff. He's like, yeah, we figured out the math, and we went and poked the snow, and then he just jumps off a cliff and lands in snow, and like great 255 feet.
I hope he tested first that it was soft snow and not hard snow, because there's a big difference.
They did look at like the temperatures and everything, but like no one had done it at that point, and so they're like, we really hope this works. And like all the math says it should, so yeehaw.
It's all soft snow after 250 feet. Anyway, Doug, what you want to go next?
Sure. This was something I had to look up the calculations to figure out what the size of the impact crater would be from a 20-foot wide skull falling from 3 kilometers.
Jeez. Hey, if
now
you're
I want to know that answer.
Did Google have that answer?
It took some calculation.
Oh man. Well, if people are commenting on this in the chat here, and we have some people who have done their own writing. So if you want to contribute to this question, please feel free to put what you've Googled into the chat. And I wanted to give a shout out to Aria, one of my narrators. Hello, Aria. All right, and let's do Waldo, then KT, then Tim.
All right. First of all, if you're an author and you're not at least on a few watch lists, are you even trying?
That's right.
All right. So I guess weirdest thing, like the most more mundane things were like, anatomy, wound information, freaking how to make homemade traps, explosives, and all that jazz. But then at book 10, I had to figure out something very strange. How fast can you launch a mech on an ICBM without killing the pilot inside it? So there was a lot of calculations, but they're like, oh yes, you can reach a top speed of like, I think it was like Mach 15 or whatever. It's like, oh cool, so I could just go straight through the atmosphere. Like, no, you're going to disintegrate your mech before your pilot gets to be smothered in the freaking cockpit. They're like, oh, that's cool. So how do I fix that? It's like I just went through a whole day of just figuring out how the whole thing worked.
That's awesome. Thank you. KT?
Okay, so I have um, two that I'm going to bring up because there are a lot more. But way back when I was pursuing traditional publishing, I was writing is it geocaching or geocaching? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Around here is geocaching. We do it with the
Okay,
kids.
so
Yeah.
so geocaching, like 'cause I was obsessed with it. Okay, so I did this story based on geocaching, where when they go geocaching, they're given like one of those Fitbit bands, right? Um, and it's like to unlock stages of the like it's like almost like a schnitzeljagd, like a scavenger hunt, geocaching one, right? And I had to Google how much damage enough C4 would do fit into one of those bracelets so that I could make the serial killer work properly. So yeah, I'm on some watch lists for that one.
Do we
And
have an
then
answer for that one? I'm just
I would
curious.
need answers.
well, it was enough. Like the little bit that I put in there was enough to pretty much annihilate the person wearing it and a small area around it. So if people were gathered when it went off, so yeah, it was and they had to make it by the timer or the bracelet would go off. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to write and to research. The other one was System Apocalypse Australia. Well, because Tao killed like freaking everybody, didn't he? In like the first day, there's like 60% of deaths. So I had to Google because they had to clear around the base they were building, which is in the city, and I had to Google how long it takes in like 105-degree heat for the bodies to bloat and at what stage, like how quickly that decomposition would start happening for them to have to get the bodies out realistically because I needed it to be realistic. So there you go. I'm on a lot of watch lists.
Yeah, what is it
The
about
crazy
us?
thing is that information is out there.
I know, right?
But what is it about us that has to be accurate? Like we could write whatever we want and people would be like, "Oh, that's probably the way that it is." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I
For
feel the
my
same need. Yeah.
I know, right? Like it has. So for my first sci-fi that is also complete, I just like putting that out there. That I wrote in 2015, 2016. It's called The Domino Project. Um, I Googled, funny back then even, what approximate size the meteor shower could have been to change the topography, but not completely sink America. So for the like meteors to hit. So yeah, I like to be very specific when I'm actually using information, like actual things that could happen in the real world. I need it to be specific.
Not Australia, America. I see
Yeah,
how it
America.
is.
No,
Yeah.
that one's set. Well, that one's set in America because I had been living in America for like 8 years at that stage. So,
Yeah. Well, let's
yeah.
so Tim's had his hand up for a while and Rec joined in as well. So go ahead, Tim.
So mine are a lot of the usual stuff, like, if you cut here, how long till the person bleeds out, and how long can you keep fighting with a sword in your gut, and a lot of those. But one that would probably get me in a little trouble is I was Googling a lot about like nuclear weapons, how they're built, how to put one together, what the fallout looks like, and certain load, like how much payload and whatnot. And it's a spoiler if you've not read one of my series. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but magic using like basically magic fallout instead of nuclear fallout. And yeah, so I've done all the usual stuff, all the stuff to do with hunting and weapons and blood and all the things that they're going to look at you and be like, what is this guy doing?
Rec, you want to bring us on with this particular
No,
question?
I was just raising my hand for the next question. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah, let's do
Unless
it.
you have anything you want to add.
No, I think this was a great question though.
This was a great question. We're gonna get in trouble one year because they're gonna hold LitRPG Con and nobody will let us on planes. like,
Hey,
sorry, Geneva.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I
We must all now
drive,
stay
so
home.
I'm good. Okay,
Yeah.
unless
We'll
they're
keep
tracking
it
my
a
car,
secret.
in which
It'll
I'm
just be,
screwed.
within a Midwestern radius of Denver, we'll show up and everybody else will be just
It'll be
We'll keep it a
LitRPG Con,
secret if you could keep
America's
a
most
secret.
watched.
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
feeling weird. I didn't have to look some of this stuff up when I was writing.
It'll be
Next
That's
book.
a good
Next
point.
book.
That's a good point,
it'll
Steve.
be LitRPG Con, the watch list.
There you go. Yeah. It'll just be like each chapter is somebody getting denied entry into the US or Colorado.
Can we invite someone from the FBI to just to share some of the files?
I'll leave that to you, Doug.
I don't want them to share my file. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Tim's got to pop off here fairly soon. So thanks for joining us, Tim. We're probably only going to go about another 15 minutes or so, I would say.
Yeah. I've one more volunteer to thank, Keith. It's funny how many people just kind of popped in, that weren't on the spreadsheet, but Keith did an amazing job selling books for us all. So all the love out to Keith as well. I told you I'd forget some people, but I really Keith was amazing. Maybe the best dressed at the booth. Yeah. Our next question is going to be, what is one piece of writing advice that you've completely ignored? And let's do a speed round, no explanation, just what's the piece of advice you've ignored, so we can get to another question. Go ahead, Bosloe.
Plotting.
There you go. David, what's your piece of advice?
I started slow. It took 3 chapters to get into the action on my first series.
Yep, I hear that. BJ?
Have a backlog. I still don't have one a year later.
Yeah, life is pain. Steve, how about you?
Icing a character.
We're just great people, right? Waldo, how about you?
Oh boy. 2 of them actually. One is start on Railroad. I didn't know Railroad existed at the time, so haven't done that yet. Maybe in my next co-author series. And the other one is don't kill the kid. And literally chapter 1. I hold no punches. This is what you're in for. It's gonna get rough.
True story. Lance, how about you? What's your piece of advice?
Writing things in order. So one of the big things that my editor told me on my first book was to write everything from start to finish. And it kind of was a struggle, but on this novella I'm writing, I literally wrote something that's 3/4 of the way through the story. And it allowed me to not really worry about any of that plotting in the background.
Yeah. Hey, if it works, right?
Yep.
Yeah. KT?
2 things. The first thing is you must write every day, which for me does not work. My brain doesn't work that way. It needs to binge it. It needs to just go ooh, idea, 20,000 words in 2 days. And I'm blearily blinking at my husband going, I think I forgot to sleep. But then I can take days off, which is usually spent in a book, which I feel is writing related. And the other thing is that you have to understand that everybody's brain works differently. So like Lance said, when somebody goes, you must write from A through to Z, bull. If your brain doesn't work like that, then it doesn't work like that. The first scene I wrote for library is literally the epilogue. So which is Luke's fault, but still, I think however the story is going to work for your brain is how you write it. There's no guide. It's just the only guide is sit your butt down and write, or stand up and dictate, or whatever it is you do to write. Just do it, because you only fail if you stop.
Yeah. Doug, how about you?
Don't ever take away your MC's agency. Don't ever do that to me, ever. I do what I want.
Yeah. BJ, did you have another one? Your hand's still raised.
I honestly don't know how to not raise my hand.
I've been trying to calling on you on every single question.
I haven't done Zoom in a long time, but I do have another one. People to add on to Doug. People said don't ever use mind control, and I did that. Mind control magic. It's a mixed bag. I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I mean, that came up in a panel of mine. There was a question about agency and mind control and all that stuff, and whether it was, cheap. And honestly, I think if it fits, it fits, right?
Yeah, I think 2 things can kind of come here for me is that the rules are meant to be broken, and indie authors are in a space where we can break rules, and no publisher is going to say no, right? So yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll add one to this before we go to our last question. And that is, do not name a book a title that people can't pronounce. So, and I'm like, I'm going to do that with my second Celtic book. And you know what? I'm going to do it for the third one as well. Because why not? But anyway, the last question here, you guys have hung out with us for 50 minutes and the chat, it just keeps getting bigger. We have 27 folks in there now. So thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. If you do have a burning question you want to put in the chat and we take a few extra minutes, I won't say no to that. But the last question that we have here is I'm going to skip the question before this because I think this is the one we need to end on. What is the coolest thing a fan has made because of your books? Bosloe, right away. Yeah, I know.
Kibble.
Yeah.
Kibble. Yeah. How can you not sort of like just be blown away by this? Yeah, just unbelievable.
I remember we were at the podium party and people are asking about you. I'm like, oh, well, just follow the man with the dragon. He's over there somewhere. Reck, you have your hand up as well?
Yeah, I've got two. First, I have this fantastic hat that Gary made. So thanks, Gary. I've been wearing this around since it's gone. It's got a little Richard on it. And then also Tori Landry did this amazing Richard that she made. And I love the spots actually have like a heart on it and stuff. It's just very cool. So yeah, I'm gonna be rocking Richard at the cons from here on out. So
That's awesome. AT?
Did I? Oh, good, I did. Well, it's not really a fan, it's more a friend, but Doug and his wife gave me this, my shirts, and a tote bag with all my library stuff on it, and it made me cry at the con. So that was
Aw,
really nice.
that's awesome. Doug?
Not really a fan, but my narrator did make me a bottle of mead.
That's sick. I love
Wow.
it. I still remember that scene in the 13th Warrior. It's about Mead. Excellent movie. Again, tangents. I'm terrible at tangents. BJ.
It's not like a physical thing that they made, but somebody it was both the coolest thing and also like how someone made a class. Someone invented an entire new in-world way that my main character could get a rogue class and how they would train and level up and how they would get around the cursed like god restrictions and everything. And they like planned it all out and this would be their path, all so that they could beat up this one character they hated in in the book. And the worst, what's crazy is like I haven't even introduced classes into the story, and they got really damn close. So I just thought it was really cool that someone cared that much and like knew my stuff that much.
Well, anyone else want to add on to this last question? No? Oh, Frank?
Sure. I don't have any merch to show off, unfortunately. Now I'm feeling like I've been left out or something. But I've gotten some great fan art from people a couple different times, which is really cool. And seeing, their interpretation of different characters and things, which I really love to see because, reading is a very personal thing. And I love to ask people which character they resonate with the most because if I make any assumptions about who someone's favorite character will be or whatever, I'm 100% always wrong because people will pick up on things that sometimes I didn't even like consciously intend to put in there, but they'll latch onto that. I'd be like, I love this character because such and such. And it's like, wow, that's awesome. And when they share the artwork and everything, it's just so heartwarming to see your story connect with other people at such a deep personal level. And that never gets old.
Yeah, 100%. David?
Yeah, I was going to jump in and say my son made some really pretty incredible artwork of a scene in my books. So
yeah, he's super talented. I'm hoping
He's
that he gets a book
crazy
next year.
talented.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he gave me one of his artwork. It's amazing, and I'm getting
Yeah.
it framed.
Does somebody have his Instagram handle? Because we should all be following him.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Dang. Look at
Who,
that.
David, who is that?
Wow.
That's my son Callum.
Oh,
He
that's
Yeah.
he's in just in the last few months, and for me, probably I should have mentioned it at the beginning, but he had such an amazing time at the festival or at the con, and he started giving out his artwork, and people got so upset by that because they kept telling him, no, you need to sell it, you need to sell
Yeah.
this, and it just turned out absolutely amazing for him. So
I'm looking for a new illustrator, David, so maybe we can connect.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
David, do you have his Instagram name? We
Um,
can pop it in the chat for everybody.
yes. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
yeah, and I can also put it in the description of this episode. So no worries, no reason to put you on the spot now. Um, yeah, I think Bosloe says I need a
There you go.
character artist too. There we go. Callum underscore the underscore broken, and that's Instagram.
Yep, that's his Instagram.
Okay, yeah, put that in the description as well.
Yeah, and he's got lots of his art, hanging out there and on you. I'm sorry, Facebook and whatnot.
So I want to kind of end this question with before I started writing, I called up one of my who would become one of my narrators, Chris Tucci, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking of writing this book, and he was like, you're going to be at a con one of these days on one of these panels, and somebody's going to come up to you and say they got a tattoo of something from your book. And I'm like, okay, all right. I don't think you're right about that, but so I want to say to anybody on this panel, if you have a fan come up to you and say they've gotten a tattoo of something from your books, the first round's on me at the next con. Come tell me that.
Actually,
Oh
there's somebody
no,
with a slug tattoo.
that does not surprise
BJ.
me.
Yeah, BJ's got a slug tattoo and it's like perfect. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'll owe you a drink already the next con.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we've gone an hour, which is pretty normal for my other seasons. I've tried to keep these to 30 minutes in this season. I do want to leave you with I told one of our friends, David North, has a Kickstarter that's going for another week or so. So head on over to I think you can probably just Google David North. But the Kickstarter is super long, so I can't actually just tell you all of it right now. But check that out. Coming up again on the podcast, I'm going to be taking a break. I was doing like every week leading up to the con. I also did a countdown to the con, and in case anybody's wondering, we have 49 weeks until the next LitRPG Con. So, but coming up here, I'm going to do one a month leading up till to New Year's. I have Benjamin Kurai in August, Aaron Renfro in September. That's going to be an interesting one because we're going to do, I work in IT as well. And we do, a lot of times I do demos, product demos, and we're going to do a demo of the Lit RPG tools, one of his, the tools that we probably are all familiar with. So we're gonna interview Aaron and then do a demo of his site so we can really see what it can do.
An awesome site.
Yeah, definitely is. SC Culligan and Luke Daniels are coming on the podcast in October, and which I'm really excited for both of them. I got to meet SC Culligan and have breakfast with him. He's another educator. And then lastly in November, something I'm really excited for. I wonder how many people have heard of him. Scott Meyer, who writes. Actually, Luke Daniels narrates for him as well, but he does more game lit. But I'm very excited. He did what Alaron Kong did, and just that's moved to Portugal, and and yeah, I don't think he's written anything for a while, but he says he's working on some things now, so I'm excited. Reck, do you have anything coming up that you're excited about?
Yeah, so this Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern at the Reck and Pop Pop Show, we're going to be interviewing Dawn Chapman, which is like, we're going to be talking lit RPG history, get hopefully some stories out of her about, modding the community and all the rest of it. So yeah, join us. She's absolutely legendary. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I've got a crazy podcast lineup. I've got Bai, Zine, Justin Marks, Mystic Neptune, Dakota Kraut, Misty Zog, all coming on in that's just August. So one of the things that Con did for me is it filled up my lineup for this fall. So just check in on Beyond Quests with Reck on YouTube, and I'll be posting, all of the pre interview time slots so you can see what's coming up. So
That's awesome. And one thing I just updated my website, and I had a link to all of a lot of the podcasters. We have this joint calendar where we post our episodes, and it didn't make the conversion over to my new site, but I have added it back. And so if you go to longwinded.one, click on season 6, the podcast spoiler sessions, and then scroll to the bottom. There's a huge calendar, and you can see just how busy the community is with interviews. So yeah, I want to thank everybody. I mean, if this tells you anything, the fact that we got almost everybody back from the table, from the indie author table, to come on this crazy, I'm like, hey, let's have 15 people, in one Zoom meeting. But it worked, and I'm just so thankful to have met you all in person, and to share this space that we all exist in with you.
yeah, thanks for having us. And thanks for setting up the Zoom. I know you had to do some special shenanigans to get all of us on here, but really appreciate you setting this up, Jared.
Yeah, my pleasure. And we'll see you all later online, and then hopefully at the next LitRPG Con. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you to everybody in chat. All
Cheers,
right.
guys.
Yeah,
you.
thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.